video is me doing my own nails with acrylic. I haven't had acrylic on my own nails for absolutely ages. I've been playing around with builder gels and hard gels quite a lot lately. You have to excuse them because they are in an absolute state. Look at the state of these. If a client, they look even worse in camera. They're not actually that bright pink in person, but anyway, they are awful. I'm not going to try and get around that. I cut myself yesterday removing them. Honestly, they're a mess. So I'm going to be putting some acrylics on them. I wouldn't recommend it if your nails look like this because it is not going to do any good, but I can't physically function without nails on, so it's going to have to happen. So first of all, I just want to go over everything that is on my desk and what it's all here for. So firstly, obviously, you're going to need some tips or some forms depending on how you want to do it, whichever one works best for you. It's just personal preference in my opinion. I prefer tips just because I've found some really good ones. These are ones from Glitter Planet. These are the easy tips. They are really long stiletto tips. I don't use them as this stiletto. I'm going to have coffin and I'm going to cut them down quite a lot. I might even go for Almond. I haven't actually figured out what I'm doing with my nails yet. But yeah, so I use these ones. I love them. They seem to fit everyone. They're just the perfect fit and they look really good. So you need those. Obviously to apply those, you're going to need some glue. I've got Pure Nails Nail It. I also use Rapid Set Nail Glue from Ink London. You can get this from anywhere. You can get it pretty cheap off eBay. It's all kind of the same thing. It obviously does the same job, but obviously some do it better than others. Then we've got a buffer and a file. Got a cuticle pusher here. There's lots of different variations of these as well. Some are straight edge, some are circular. I'm actually waiting for a delivery of Navy Pro Tools. Can't wait to try them for prep. And then I've got two sets of nail clippers here. One is curved and one is straight. I just like the straight ones for snipping off the side. If I want it more of a tapered shape, you can snip off those sides. And then obviously you're going to need your acrylic liquid and powder. So I use Glitterbels. I've used a lot over the time I've been doing nails, which is 7 years I've been qualified for now. Or 6, I don't know, 6 or 7, but I feel like I've been doing it for my whole entire life because I started practicing when I was about 10. So I use Glitterbels because I found that that's my favourite. Today I'm going to be using Sugared Almond, and this is a little Tealight holder, but I use it as a Dappen dish. It's really heavy, so it's really good. I get those from IKEA. And then I'm going in with the Violet Monomer from Glitterbels as well. So I'm just, last thing, obviously you're going to need a brush. So the Glitterbels ones are absolutely amazing. I love them. I have about 3 just for no reason. I also have I don't really want to go into, I also have got cheap ones like from eBay and stuff like that, like this, just for practice nails and just using for no reason. I don't recommend them if you're doing nails properly, but if it's just for yourself, then why not? Like, if anything, you just can't get it the application is not easy to get smooth with brushes like this because there's no point or anything. I've only used this once and it's already gone like that, but it was about £5, so I can't really complain. So I'm going to get my desk set up ready for me to do them, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, so I did also forget to mention that I've got my Dehydrator and primer as well from Glitterbels. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things that you need to make sure you do if you're new to doing nails, and obviously these are not the types of things that you would know. So when you first get a new brush, this isn't new so I can't show you what I mean, but it comes with some sort of adhesive in the bristles to keep them all together in transit. That keeps their shape. You can't use that in the brush and the monomer. So don't put your brush in here until you've actually got out all of that glue. I can't show you what it looks like at the moment because I don't have a brand new brush to be able to show you, but it'll basically just stick them all together. You just need to go through your brush and just push through and make sure you get all of it out. Make sure you've done that completely, and then before you use your brush, you need to just place it in, really squeeze out every single bristle, make sure there's no air bubbles in there, and then your brush is ready for you to use. Second thing I just wanted to quickly cover is new files. I am using a new file today, so that's helpful. I can actually show you what I mean. So when using a new file, the corners, the edges of them are going to be really, really, really harsh. They're going to be really sharp and probably going to hurt you. Like this. That wasn't done with a file, it was done with a new file, which is even worse, but they're going to be really sharp. So just get a buffer or another file and just file over those edges. This buffer is horrible. It's a really, really low grit one. I don't ever use it apart from to do this to files, but that will soften them then, so it's a lot less likely to cut you if you catch your skin. So first things first, I'm going to get my cuticle pusher, and I have actually already done my cuticles kind of, because there was polish in there that I had to take off, so I've already kind of done them. But you're going to use your cuticle pusher to just push back really gently. You're not going to see mine move much because I've actually already done this. I didn't even think to record it until after I'd already started getting ready, so there we go. So just really gently, you shouldn't have to put too much pressure on, just getting all the skin off of the nail, because acrylic does not stick to skin and you're going to get lifting and things like that if it's still on the nail plate. I'm not going to include an e-file in this at all, because obviously if people that are wanting to do their nails at home are watching this, they're probably not going to have access to that, and I'd hope that you wouldn't, because that can be quite dangerous without training. So I'm going to use this file, and then we're literally just going to take off the shine, basically. This is a 180 grit file. I wouldn't usually use a brand new 180 grit on my hands, on my nails, because they can be a little bit sharp, but I'm just going over ever so gently and just making sure I'm not putting any pressure on the nail whatsoever. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit now. Oh my god, they just look gross, don't they? I can't believe I've let them get like this. But yeah, we're just going to file over that and just get rid of that tacky layer. Get rid of the tacky layer, I've gone insane. Get rid of the shine on my nail, because acrylic sticks much better to rough surfaces. So you want to get right down your side walls to prevent lifting from there, and go over the surface of the nail, and then just brush off. So I've totally forgot that you're going to need a manicure brush, and I've actually lost it. There we go. So I use this one. I'm just going to brush that off, get the excess off, and then you can see if you've got any rough, if you've got any shiny areas. Like I can see that this down here, I've missed the tip because that is still a bit shiny. So I'm just going to very gently just go over the end, and there we go, that's ready. So I'm going to do my other nails, and then I'll come back to you with the next step. Okay, so I've done that. All of my nails are now rough and ready to go. This one, it won't focus here, is sore. It's not actually looking quite as bad in person as it is on the camera. That's really accentuating the redness, but it is a little bit sore because I was silly and pulled my gel off. Do not do that. Do as your nail tech says, not as she does. So I'm just going to get off the dust, and then I'm going to go in with a cleanser wipe. I understand that not everyone at home will have this, but if you have any isopropyl alcohol, then you can use that, because that is all that this is. These are from Divine Nails and Beauty, and all that it is literally just a wipe with 70% alcohol in it. I'm just giving my nails a good scrub with that to make sure they're totally clean, there is no dust left, and that will prevent lifting. Okay, so your nails will be shiny for a moment. Wait until they've all gone dull, and that's when you know that your alcohol has dehydrated your nail and you're ready to go. So next step is my tips. So obviously mine are all in a box, but depending on where you buy them from, they may come in bags. You need to really make sure that you size these up correctly, because this is also going to have a lot to do with the state of your nails when your nails come off and how long they last. It has a lot to do with it. So this one, as you can see, is perfect for me. It fits completely side wall to side wall. You can't really see because it's focusing on the wrong thing as usual. But anyway, it fits perfectly. So make sure that you fit perfectly both sides, and it's not touching the skin and it's not too small. If anything, you're better off with using one that's a little bit too big and then literally just filing it down a little bit. that will be a lot better than using one that's too small. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just at the bottom here. You don't want to put too much on and make it go all over you. And then you're just going to, at a 45-degree angle, just press that down. And then wait for a few seconds. Obviously, depending on which glue you're using, they'll vary on how long you need to wait for. This one's pretty quick setting. So because it's clear, it's really difficult to see. But that's that nail done. So I'm going to stick the rest on and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so because I'm only doing one hand for this video, that's that hand done with sticking the tips on. This is what they look like. And I'm aware that people do have their nails this long, but unfortunately I am not capable of doing that. So I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to use my rounded edge clippers first. You don't need straight clippers, they're just helpful to have. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down to the length that I want. So I want them about I'm just thinking what shape I'm going to go for and how long to have them. So I'm going to go for about there, I think. I might take them down a little bit after, but I think I'm quite happy with that. So you're just going to go along and cut them to all about the same length as closely as you can, and then I'll have a look properly after and line them up. They are way too long. So the main thing when you're cutting them is to try and make sure, obviously different tips work differently. These ones are really nice because they're quite thin, so it's really easy to cut these. But if they're a little bit thicker, if you cut at the wrong angle or something like that, you're going to end up snapping them, and you could also make them come off. So this is what I'm left with at the moment. I can quite clearly see that this one is too long. So I think I'm quite happy with that length. Obviously you can have them shorter or longer, however you like, whatever is best for you and how you function in a day, but I'm happy with this. So I want them tapered in a slight bit more, so I'm going to show you how I do it on one hand, on one nail, and then I'll go away and do the other one. So this is where my straight edge ones come in. I'm literally just going to take, so make sure that your tips firstly are not stuck to the sides of your nails. This is even more likely when you've got such short nails like me. If your nails are longer, it's harder for that to happen, but just make sure anyway, just in case, because even when you come to filing, you don't want to file into that. So I'm just going to take a corner off. I don't want them too thin, but I want them a little bit thinner than they are at the moment. So this just saves your hand when filing. And I'm just going to snip off the corners like that on all of them, and I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay, so if you are tapering them in yourself, you want to make sure that they're all pretty much the same thickness. So as you can tell from these, this one here is a little bit wider than the others. So I'm just going to take that one in a little bit more, just to match it up for them to look relatively the same. So now I'm going to take my file, and first of all I'm going to go down the side. So we're doing one side at a time, make sure that's nice and straight. I'm just going to do one nail at a time for you actually, and then I'll do the rest off camera so it's not too long, because I imagine this video is going to be quite long. So we're going to do one side and then go in with the other side. Try not to zigzag exactly like I just did, it's not good. Just go in one sweeping motion in one direction. And I like to get underneath a little bit, but don't go too far under, because then you're going to take off your natural nail without even noticing. And then I'm just going to go across the tip. So that's the first step, and then the next one is we just really gently want to blend in this gap here where the false nail meets your natural nail. This will just help with your acrylic applications, because you won't have a little bump to cover. You don't have to do this bit though if you're confident enough to cover the bump. And then that is it for applying tips. So that's my tips on. My camera is really winding me up today. And I'm just going to finish off the rest, get them to that stage, and then I'll be back for application. Okay, so I've done that stage. My next one is going to be Dehydrator and Primer. Both of these products together are going to work as a great team to get your acrylics to last for as long as possible with little to no lifting. So, firstly, you're going to go in with Dehydrator. This dries out your nail, making it easier for the acrylic to stick. I don't want to really talk too much of nail terms because I'm aware that I'm making this video for beginners and people that want to be able to do their nails at home. So I don't really want to go in too much depth because obviously you really need to do a course for that. Okay, so I've done that stage, and then straight away, or pretty much straight away, your nails will go back to looking chalky and a bit sad, which is good. That's what you want. When you've got to that stage, you then want to use the primer. I am using acid free. And then you're literally just going to put on the tiniest amount of this onto your nails. You do not want to get this everywhere. And it only has to go onto your natural nail, not the plastic tip. So I'm just going to gently pop that on. Really, really small amount. You don't need a lot of this. This will make your nail look a little shiny. The best way I found to describe primer is double-sided sticky tape. So it sticks to your nail and then the acrylic sticks to it. So it's like a little sandwich. Okay. Also, if you could let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see. I have got a lot planned, but I'm also aware that obviously I need to try and do ones that you actually want, not just ones that I fancy doing. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. So now we're on to application. We're going to get our brush, monomer and powder. I am using sugared almond today. I have never actually used this before. It's one of my most recent purchases of Glitterbels cores. So I don't even know what the consistency of this one is like. So we'll see, we'll go with it. So I'm going to see if I can zoom. I don't want to zoom in just yet because I want you to see what I'm doing here. So I'm putting in, doing what I did before, making sure there's no air bubbles and then wiping off completely. So I'm going in and I'm going to wipe off the side twice, and then I'm just going to go in and then pick up a bead. I'm going to place it about halfway down, then I'm going to wipe off my brush. One of the most important things to keeping your brush nice and clean and usable is to not get product trapped in it. Don't just try your very hardest to not do that, because when it's in, it's there to stay. So I'm mainly focusing on making sure that the bottom of the bead is blended with the rest of the nail. It's really difficult to do this at such an odd angle. I'm usually all over the place with my own nail, so it's hard to do on camera. And then I'm just using the belly of my brush, which I will explain where I class that as in a second. And I'm just patting mainly. If you brush, you're going to just brush the product off your nail, and then not only have you got to do it all over again, you've wasted product that, let's be honest, is not really that cheap to keep buying over and over just because we've wasted it. So I'm just getting that nice and smooth. The smoother you get your application, the easier the filing is going to be at the end. No one enjoys filing their own nails. Don't get me wrong, I love filing other people's. I think that is one of the most satisfying parts of a set, but I don't hate anything more than filing when coming to do my own nails. So I'm just patting that all out, making sure it's nice and flush. Making sure that back part is a little flatter, and then there we go. That's our first bead applied. See if it'll focus up close. Apparently, oh, it will. So there we go. I'm going to show you from an angle as well. So this is what it looks like from the side. I've already worked on building this apex area. You need that for a nail to last. So if you look at it from all different angles, that's going to help you a lot with your application. You don't want your tip to be thick, but you don't want it to be too thin where it just peels right off. This is how thick my tip don't think I'm going to be able to show you it, but credit card size is what I usually say. It's not necessary for it to be really thick. If your structure's all in the right place, it's not needed. So next step is going to be to fill this area and blend it in with this bit here. Okay, so just had to nip outside because my dog hates our neighbours. So we're going to go with the next stage now. I'm going to do it in another 2 beads instead of another 1. Because I'm aware that when you're a beginner, it's very daunting and it's probably a lot easier to do it in a lot of little ones than a few big ones. So I'm going to place this here before the cuticle area, and I'm going to use the very tip of my brush down here to get behind that bead to blend it. Again, I'm just using patting motions. And then I'm just going to bring the rest of it down the nail. Try your very, very hardest not to get any on the skin. If you do, I don't think I have, but my eyesight's not very good, so I'll do it anyway. If you do get any on the skin, don't panic too much. Just before it has a chance to set, just make sure you clean that up. If you have any areas of your nails that you look at from any angle and they look thin and you need a little bit more, like here for me, see if you can see it. Why does it want to focus on everything but what I want it to? Well, anyway, down this side here we've got a real thin amount, there we go, real thin amount of acrylic. So I'm literally just going to pick up a tiny bit with not a lot of monomer in my brush at all, because you don't want it to run everywhere as soon as you place it. And I'm literally just going to, this time I am brushing because I don't want it to build up and become a huge amount. And I'm just going to blend it in with the rest of the nail. Make sure it doesn't hit the skin and just tidy up that side wall to get it back flush. Okay, just patting it out. So this is what our nail looks like from the side so far, which is going great. You want it to get higher in the stress area. To figure out where that is, because it's very difficult to explain an apex, if you press down on your nail, you will see your nail will change colour. So if my camera will focus, I would love to show you that. There we go. So if you press down on your nail, so here you can see this bit here changes colour. You need the stress area to be in that area for that nail. That place will change depending on how long your nails are. So if your nails have got acrylic on and they grow out to up here and then you put pressure on, the pressure is going to be in a different area. So we've got our apex going so far, but we still need to fill this little cuticle area. This is the area that everyone is scared of when they first start, because you hear so many bad things about become allergic and all this. So I'll take a bit of liquid out of the back of my brush. I'm going to place that really tiny bead down the back, and before it has a chance to do anything, I'm just going to very gently manipulate it exactly where I want it. Okay, make sure you really get into the corners and you've not got any gaps. If you do have any gaps, don't worry about them, just leave them there for now. You can easily fill them. So just tidying up that side as well. So just keep looking at it from all different angles every time you add more. And then if you do get any around the skin, you can just very gently just use your brush just to give it a little tidy up. Even if you don't think you've got any there, I do it just out of habit, to be honest. And then if you do have any gaps like I did, you can just go in with another little bead and then just make sure that everything is filled. This bead I do tend to brush more than pat, because you don't want to add bulk in this area. You don't need that area to be really thick. If it does end up thick, you don't need to panic, because we've still got a file. So that's how my nail looks at the moment. That's with our 3 bead method, and like I said, make sure you check everywhere to make sure everything's nice and thick enough. If your side walls are too thin, your nails are likely to snap or just lift and peel away. So you really need to make sure that everywhere is structurally, is that a word? Oh, who knows? Structurally sound. I know what I meant. So there we go. That's that. So I'll do one more nail without talking, because I'm aware how long this video is, and I'll just let you watch it and then I'll finish the rest and show you my filing routine. I'll go off camera now and do my other 3 nails, and then I'll come back and show you how to file. Okay, so I finished applying my acrylic. This is what I am left with. I'm really sorry about that, it looks horrible. So I've got my acrylic on all of them. Show you quickly the side view, and from this angle here, all the tips are quite thin. All this white under here, don't worry, it's just dust. So I'm going to get my file, she says. Don't know where I've put the bloody thing. Okay, I found it. So I'm going to show you how I file just one finger instead of my whole hand, because it's going to be really, really long. And I was going to shorten the video, but I don't think I'm going to now, because I want you all to see that this is not an easy, fast process. So I'm going to use my file. I'm going to get it underneath the side wall. Make sure that you haven't got any attached to the sides of your fingers, and everything is released. So I'm going to get it underneath the side like this. I'm going to get it straight out, not like this, because then you're just going to file the sides really thin if you do that, and then not completely flat, because you're going to end up taking away all the side underneath. So I'm going to get it at this angle, and I'm just going to file into the side straight up and down to make the edge nice and straight. I don't want it curved because I want a nice coffin or ballerina shape. So that's one side wall done. I am just going to go gently up here because I've got a little bit of bulk up there. So that's that side. Then I'm going to go to the next side and get my file underneath here. I'm going to gently go from under backwards. I'm not seesawing, just one direction. Just make sure that I pick that up, just like that. And then we'll go from the side and just make sure that you're not cutting into your skin. You want to avoid your skin. So I'm going from underneath to sideways, so upwards, to get that really nice straight line. And then I'm going to do the free edge, just to make sure they're nice and straight. I'm only going to show you the filing for one nail, don't worry. So when that's done, I'm going to go from the cuticle area. I'm going to go up the side walls, down the cuticle, down these side walls, and then over the whole nail. So up the sides, and then very gently, you want to tuck your file into the little gap that should be between your acrylic and your cuticle area. So I'm going to tuck my file between that area, and I'm just going to take it round to really get that nice and flush. You don't want the cuticle area to be really thick, because they're not going to look like they fit your nail, and you want them to be flush and as natural looking as a false nail can look. And then that is when I come down the whole nail, and then I go over. Just make sure that you're not getting rid, I'm going to go out a bit because I'm too close. Just make sure that you're not getting rid of your structure. So as you can see, I've still got that structure there. I've still got it. Is my camera going to focus? Yes. So we've still got this raised bit here, which is the stress area, and then it comes down flat and it comes out straight from the nail. So it doesn't look all odd. You want it to come out straight for it to actually look like the nail fits your nail, and you've not just, well, you have kind of just stuck one on, but you know what I mean. Nails should be an extension of your natural nail, so they should look relatively natural. So when you're finished filing, you should be able to look at it from all angles and be happy and satisfied that everything is smooth. So I'm going to try and get it to focus on this stage now. So I'm just going to remove the dust, and then I'm going to look from all angles at it to make sure that it is nice and smooth the whole way round, and both sides from this angle are the same height. Basically this under here is just tip, that will just file off. So yeah, you want to make sure from all angles. I can't really get in all angles while I'm on camera, but that's how you want it to be. I'm now going to finish file all my nails, and I'll show you how they look at the end. Okay, so I've finished filing. That is it now for my nails. I'm not going to be painting them because I have got a special delivery tomorrow coming from Magpie Beauty, which is their chrome jewels collection, and I want to try them out on my nails to be able to take some photos of them. So I'm just now wiping over with a cleanser, just to make sure that all the dust is off of my nails. Okay, I just had to run off quick because my camera had 30 seconds left. So I'm just going over every single nail with a cleanser wipe to make sure that all the dust is removed and that they're nice and clean. So at this stage, obviously you could go in with your gel polish or normal polish or glittered top coat or just normal top coat, whatever you want to do. I'm not even going to normal top coat mine because I'm going to have to do that when those chromes come anyway, so I'm just going to leave them like this for now. So I'm going to pop on some cuticle oil. I use these, they say OPI but they're not. They're just real cheap from eBay, but they do the job. So any cuticle oil you've got knocking about your house, I just pop some of that on when I'm finished. So that is the final look for the video. Obviously that Magpie Beauty parcel is coming tomorrow with lots of glitters and with my chromes, so I will do a video on that and a haul when all of my parcels arrive as well, and then I'll pop some hand cream on, and that's it. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you did, I hope. And I will see you in my next one. Any questions, just drop them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching if you made it all the way through. I was going to make this video a little bit shorter and take some off, but then I thought, you know what, no, I want you to be able to see that if it does take you a couple of hours, that's not bad, because let's be honest, the 37 minutes that this video has gone on for so long is only me doing one hand, and I actually cut it off to do most of it anyway. So that's just the realisation of how long it takes. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!